Hello, Capricorns. Welcome to your relationship reading or relationship check-in reading for November 2025. You can do one deck and we'll see where the charms fall. They fall with your cards here, but we're going to check in on all your relationship areas. So not just with people, it can be with places, organizations, environments, yourself. So we'll see what comes out. And then this deck over here, I'm going to do air quotes on the word them. So we're going to do get some cards to give you clarity, insights, answers, whatever you're kind of seeking here in terms of them. And them can be an individual, a group, organization, a program. So up to you to define them for you for this reading. And then I'll also just share with you guys off the top, right before sitting down to do your group reading, had a little bit of a 5-10 minute breakdown cry. So I don't know if you're also finding yourself doing that, or maybe you need that. I mean, I feel good now, but the tears did come, and I let it happen. And like I said, it was about 5-10 minutes, and now I'm here. So for what it's worth, maybe it's encouragement for you to find that release, or maybe quietness, personal time. Maybe that's the message here. I do timestamp, so if you just want to skip ahead to your messages, feel free. Otherwise, we'll hang out together, get the cards, get the charms, and any more additional kind of initial impressions here as we connect in with your soul energies, and your angels come and join us and let us know what are we going to focus on as we check in on your relationship areas. What might be on your mind, maybe not even on your radar, who knows? I'll kind of see here. Okay, and then we'll get the cards for them, and then we'll see if any charms get added and where they get added. Oh, interesting. Oh, their heads are all upside down as well. That's kind of playful, kind of like their head is rolling. Like if I was to animate the 3 cards together, it may have looked like a tumble, you know. Maybe you're falling head over heels over someone. Maybe this is them. Are you crushing on someone, or maybe you're about to fall head over heels? Or maybe they're making your head roll right now with confusion. We'll see, I guess, once we get over there. And then we'll see charm. Oh, we'll just let them dump some. Do you want this one on my finger? No. Okay. So we'll just see what the charms want to jump. Maybe add some complimentary messaging. I'm just pausing because I felt some movement. I don't know if that's on camera. Maybe I'll peek. It's always fun to watch this together since you're unable to feel what they're doing, but you can see it. I think they're going after that starfish. Yeah. Okay, we'll see if they're adding any to them. Okay. And look what they gave you, the head. Heads are rolling, head over heels. And then we've got the head charm. I don't know if they're having a little bit of fun with you. Being playful. Your angels are being playful with you. Maybe that's the energy they're trying to encourage you to get into, since, like I said off the top, I was crying or had a good little moment of tears. Oop. Oh, you know what? I'm going to take that out because I don't usually toss, and it clearly hopped. So we'll get into what that message is. I wonder if a loved one came out, took the opportunity here. I'll put the seashell this way, otherwise it's going to spin around and distract me. Okay. So we're going to start with you. So your check-in, relationships check-in. Start at the top here. Top card, Hermit. So here you are with your soul and your guardian angel, quietly kind of pacing, kind of quietly going through the steps, maybe the steps of life right now, but they're here with you. I don't know why you're all wrapped up here in darkness, right? You got a heavy dark cloak on. I don't know if I call it cocooning when you wrap your blanket or your bed comforter like all around you, right? You kind of sausage yourself in. So I call that cocooning, which is a form of comfort. But you're just kind of slowly walking here, and the spiritual energy is supporting you, in step with you. It's not really any conversation going, right? With your hood down, you're kind of in a, this is a silent moment. Probably more in the heart, you feel it, maybe intuitively, so through telepathy. You might have some indications, but for the most part, they're just listening and walking with you here. So you're having a bit of a moment with self, relationship with self, and also some spiritual relationship. For those of you that believe, I know there's, our agnostic friends as well, and others. It all depends on where you sit on your belief spectrum. Okay. Queen of Cups. I don't know why she's covering her cup. Usually she's reading into it, right? Scrying, or sometimes she might have a thin veil, but she's about to remove it to reveal. But here she's actually covering, right? She's cupping her cup. She's holding what's in there within. And this is all water, right? Blue emotions. So is that what you're doing right now? Your relationship with your emotions, right? I'm going to come back to those tears I had in the intro. Are you holding too much in? It could be stress. It doesn't have to be emotions, but you're holding too much stress in. Maybe you're carrying too much weight, too much pressure, and you're not sharing or seeking or asking for help, or just letting people know, even just even letting people know I'm dealing with a lot of stuff right now, just so they have kind of the heads up, and don't try to over invite you to stuff, right? They'll be respectful of your time that you need to deal with what you want. But I do feel like your relationship right now with your emotions, you're holding a lot in here. You're containing a lot. Oh, charm first. See how they do that? See how they remind me? Okay. So the charm came down on your, I guess, somewhat middle card. This is my starfish. I always see it kind of moving, rotating, picking up momentum when it's not just sitting still and enjoying its environment. I don't feel like you're enjoying your environment. I feel like this is the pick up and move momentum. Maybe that's what you're debating. Maybe that's why I'm flip-flopping here between it being rotated and sitting. So maybe that comes to the head rolling. Like some days you think you've had enough. Could be relationship with your career, could be your relationship with children even, or a partner, kind of pushing each other's buttons, and we sometimes we're like, oh, we just want to throw in the towel, whatever it is, but then you don't, and then you think maybe I should, don't really like this, but then you don't. So and every time you pick up that thought, there's more progress made because it's a starfish. So you pick up some momentum and then you pause again. Maybe you're second guessing, self-doubting. See here. Yeah, strength, right? Encouraging you to continue to embrace that strength. The strength when you have the courage to embrace your strength, when it's forward progress like this, it leads you to this joy, right? They're having fun. They're, she's kind of tickling her pet here, playful wrestling, if you will, indicated by the stars here and the flowers and the way the legs are just kind of kicking up and playing, like she's going to scratch his belly soon. And they're also in the forest here of abundance, of prosperity, of joy. Lots of solution flowing here, creativity, lots of thoughts around like problem solving. You want to kind of figure this out. So your creative juices are flowing. Just pausing because they're bringing me down to the mushrooms here. For me, mushrooms are kind of reminders of like reoccurring choices, returning to behaviors. For some of us, if this is a relationship, not a career, this could be you keep going back to the same ex, right? You keep forgiving, keep making up, but the issue never really goes away, right? The mushroom keeps coming back, keeps inviting friends to the party, right? You think you've kind of conquered it, and then it pops up again, right? Period of time here. So maybe things got better, but then like the starfish, so you sit, you settle, things are better now. And then you start to get the feelings again, the sensation, right? Your mind here, your creativity, you're flowing, and you're like, wait a second, maybe I should, this is it. I'm going to move forward. This isn't what I want. So got a relationship with a decision here. What brings you joy? Are you going to continue momentum forward to your happy place, right? What makes you smile, which makes your heart flutter, like we see? Are you going to keep kind of playing with these habits, behaviors, choices that kind of ruin the party every now and again, right? Pop up. Okay. The Fool. Now, interesting. It's all talking about forward progress, right? You're taking step by step. And then you covered, right? You're withholding. And then forward progress. And then you're sitting on the rock here, right? Looking at the outlook. And there you are wearing your starfish. Here's the moment where you kind of sit and go, well, maybe it's okay if I'm not over at the castle. Things are kind of okay right now. But you still are drawn to it, right? It still calls to you. There's something here. You can't kind of deny it. That's how I feel. So that's why your strength has to come in. But it's interesting that your reading is all about forward progress, yet your card pattern took us backwards. So maybe that's what you're doing as well, right? You're doing your forward momentum, and then your pause kind of, it's almost like you're on one of those flat movators. If you stop when you walk, you really go fast, right? You gain a lot of ground, but if you stop, it pulls you back slowly to where you were. So, are you ready to get off that movator? I think I'm going to go through them first, just based on where I placed the shell. This energy. We'll figure out who it is. I think might be wanting to talk about you and them, or the impact on you right now as it relates to them. Maybe could be also a future outlook over here too for them. This could be where you're going, right? Because you're facing that way, but you kind of slide back a little bit when you lose a little bit of strength, a little bit of your determination to move forward with towards what you like, what you need, setting your boundaries, communicating those, etc. Okay, so let's go over to them first. Start with the charm here. So if you were with me getting the cards, initial impressions, you'll know that these fell all upside down, and I kind of chuckled. It looked like the heads were tumbling. If I was to animate, it looked like a head was rolling. And then the charm came, and the charm selection was my cheetah head, my wildcat head. So they chose the head, the 3D kind of head bead, where it could actually roll, right? So a little playfulness there from your energies, from your angels, especially if you're in a very quiet, contemplative, maybe even isolated. There's a lot of time by yourself here. So they're bringing in some delight. But this charm is all about a quick change. So talk about acceleration over here. Like this is full speed ahead, full steam ahead. It might feel like day and night to you as well. That's how kind of quickly it happens. Or when you talk about it, when you reflect back in the moment, you'll be like, wow, it's amazing how quickly things changed for me. It's amazing how fast, overnight almost, that things changed. So let's see what needs to change, what's about to change as we talk about them. So you have the Two of Wands, and you have the not so big friendly giant, right? We often call that the elephant in the room. And when you have an elephant in the room, it's like the unspoken, but everybody knows it exists issue, right? The elephant is quiet, it's standing there, but it's huge. It's filling up the room. Maybe it's in the way of everything. So, this individual's going one way, this individual's going the other. And again, this elephant in the room is between you. So there's tension here, unspoken tension, but you're both well aware. Both as in you and this other party, you and them, are both kind of feeling the same or both aware. Now look at the arrows here around the head, the spinning head. We're back to this like whiplash, right? Heads are rolling, heads are spinning, the confusion, the maybe the yo-yo I was gonna say person there, but it's not a person for all of you. So maybe you don't know if they're coming or going. So that's kind of the unspoken. It exists and it's between you. And I don't think you and this other party are going to react the same way, right? You're going to respond. And maybe that's why you're not talking about it, is because you already know intuitively we're not going to respond the same way. We don't think about this in the same way. So this is the card where the charm came down. So the change overnight. It looks like a hero's come in to save the day, to take you away. Sort of this is your escape vehicle, right? You're on the surface of the water here, right? You're in the safety of the canoe. You're not in your feelings, is what I'm trying to express. So them, whatever your them is for you, I feel like they have a huge impact here on this covering, right? How much you're withholding, how much you're keeping in. Maybe that's the elephant in the room, right? What's not being spoken. You're holding it all in. You need to communicate. You need to talk about things. You need to talk through things in order to move forward, right? You need to discuss your escape route, your escape plan. Otherwise, you do go off in different directions. So maybe you're in a scenario where assumptions are being made, presumptions. You think you know what the other party is thinking or saying or doing, but I feel like you don't, and that can change overnight. That's the big change overnight here. You coming out of withholding everything inside, right? The release here. You're on the surface now. You've brought everything up. You brought everything up to the surface. This elephant in the room, you've said, hey, everybody, look, there's an elephant in the room. Okay. So for me, this reads as like X marks the spot, your Two of Swords here. The way he's crossing his arms reminds me of my firefighter charm, which is actually just sitting on top here. So this charm and this card have the same energy for me right now. So the X marks the spot. Firefighters all about rescue, right? They have the tools they need. You have the tools you need. You've got the confidence, the knowledge, the ability, right? The awareness, so much so that you can be blindfolded as you're fighting them, right? You're skilled, like a firefighter, right? You're skilled. This is not your first zombie rodeo. This is not your first elephant in the room. This is not your first, relationship. It's not your first job. It's not your first time with a them, right? But I feel like the X marks the spot, as in now is the time, right? It's a Two of Swords, so this is a decision. Now is the time to make that decision, to change overnight. What's the change that you want? Right here, right? Are you going to make that decision? The time is now. Come up, bring your feelings to the front, share, communicate, talk, discuss. It doesn't have to be a fight, it doesn't have to be an argument. It's just a conversation. You need to express yourself. So let's come here to this visitor. We had the shell pop out the way they had me toss the charms in, which I usually don't. I usually just drop them back in, but I threw it and this flew out. So it needed a little momentum, right? It needed a little pick me up, just like your starfish. So this definitely is a loved one coming in with your pick me up. And the she shell here is news, information coming to you, right? I want to hold this up to your ear so that you can receive their message privately, right? It's like a telephone call, a one-way line just between you and them. Maybe that's how it'll happen. Maybe you will receive out of the blue a phone call or a text message from a loved one that's still here with you, so present, real world. Or when you're around this solution, when it's the right time for this change, where you communicate, where you talk, where you make this decision, maybe something will happen with your phone, or communication. So radio, like if you're in the car listening to music, maybe your radio will get scratchy static for no reason. Maybe it'll just click right off, and then you'll realize, oh, my radio's off, and then it clicks back on. It might be something like that. You might think, oh, my phone's vibrating, or I can hear the ringer, but you go and there's nothing happening on your phone, right? There's no notification, there's no phone call coming in. There's some kind of sign here that they want to get to you in the real world. That's your message. That's why there's no other card. But it does relate to them helping you with the timing. And it was placed here in the middle because it's the emotion cards, right? The time is right for you to express yourself. Maybe you're just never sure, right? You're unsure. That's why you go in and out of the strength. I'm ready to talk. And then you're like, oh, they just said something to me, so okay, maybe it's not the right time. They're feeling sick, or they canceled on me, so it's not the right time. So they're going to help you with, okay, we're going to alert you to when the time is right, to when it's the perfect time, right? You're blindfolded. Swing now. They're your partner. They're your assist. So we'll check in next month, and we'll see what progress you made, right? We'll see the momentum, the quick change overnight.